Hello, Sim Broadcast fans, and welcome to Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. It's the 15th round of the 2021 season and the 259th race in the history of the series. It is brought to you by Race Green and sponsored by World Class Lions. My name is Eoin Harmon, and joining me in the broadcast will be Thilo Falkenberg. I'm just going to wait and see if he is ready to join, but for the moment, we are live on our Twitch and our YouTube channels simultaneously, so we look forward to seeing you across the chat and in our inboxes all day. So I think he's here now. Thilo, how are you today?
Hello, I'm very fine. It's going to be an awesome evening here from Rockingham in Corby, UK.
Certainly is, yeah. The sunshine is starting to set a little bit, but we're going to be feeling the excitement here at Rockingham Oval with the raceabout, also known as the RAC. We've been running RTFR since the start of January, and here we are now, nearly 7 months later, for the 15th round. Quite extraordinary.
It is. 15 rounds already, and about 13 left in the series. Just over the halfway mark, as we have now the track map on screen. It's one of the more easier track maps. A very oddly shaped oval with 4 corners, more like a rectangle.
Yeah, very much so. And even though this race shouldn't last particularly long, it will feel like an eternity for the drivers, having to drive 48 times around this square-shaped oval, as you said. It's only a 2.4 kilometer or 1.5 mile circuit, but the lap times will be quite competitive. Now let's take a look at our vehicle for the day. It is the Raceabout 06, or the RAC for short. It's a 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 mid-engine sports car with rear-wheel drive and 245 brake horsepower, or 183 kilowatts of power, and it weighs just under 2,000 pounds or 1,000 kilos at the 800 mark. And now we're ready to introduce the qualifying session. This should be one of the closest in RTFR's campaign, as every driver bar one is in the 39-second mark. But same old, Sidus 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, the quartet of Sidus drivers up in the lead unite the oval expert only in 3rd position, which really shows how competitive this team is, and another 2 oval specialists in 5th and 6th position, Trackmaster's Number and also Race Green's Falcon, both with their fair share of oval racing success in the last decade even.
Yeah, certainly goes back that long. Yeah, quite fascinating to see them still going. But yeah, it's just a matter of picking a driver and see how they get on for the minute that they have, either to do an out lap and a hot lap, or as we see Classic on screen here in 13th place, 0.3 of a second down, but it just feels like such a gulf, given how close it is to the pole. On board now with a very fetching blue scheme helmet there to match his livery. No improvement there from what I could tell. You can just see the smoothness on the wheel. You don't have to push this car too hard for it to respond.
And something that pretty much everyone will be aware after 10 laps in the race also, over-racing means that the one half of the tires is going to experience a lot more stress than the other half, and with pretty even tire dimensions, this will mean that either your inside tires are cooling down way too much, or rather your outside tires are going to heat up a lot. With this being a rear-wheel driven car, the rear right is going to feel a lot of pain today.
Certainly true. And now let's take a look at our driver standings. It's Sidus's Rick Hardle 10 points clear of his teammate Unite in the battle for the championship. True Alpha, Mandula, and Ayu complete the top 5. But we now will scroll through the remaining competitors all the way down. Over 100, I believe, is the benchmark for people in the championship.
118 currently.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So give us hello if you see your name there, or if you recognize anybody. Yeah, so we're running down to the top 100 very soon. It should be the drivers with 1 point exactly. Yeah, there you can see the 100th driver is Koskinen on equal 1 point with a lot of other competitors. And there we are, 118 people have tried their luck and have left with a point. And now let's check out the teams championship. Not as many entries to list off here, but we can say with certainty that Team Sidus have a massive lead over Race Green, our organisers of this championship. But it's very competitive with Born to Race in 3rd position, and World Class Lions consolidating 4th place ahead of Master Race Car. Then we have our own teams in broadcasts, 10 points clear of Fragmaster, Father and Sons in 8th, Zephyrillus in 9th, Alma Course and Fortunato complete the remaining teams.
2 minutes are left in this session. That is enough to do 2 hot lap attempts.
Botsy hasn't made his life easy there. He lost it. I didn't spot exactly how, but he was in the wrong direction out of the pit lane, blend line. But he seems to be okay. He can carry on. Look at Lorenzo. It could be a case of Ferrari pride there. I'm just taking a closer look at that scheme he's running now. Yeah, looks like possibly one of those Ferrari 360 challenge type cars. Looks very interesting with the big number 1 on the bonnet.
Should we tell him that this car features a Saab engine?
If you want. Actually, on closer inspection, it's a Ducati. So, yes, that might make a bit more sense. Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, it's a motorcycle inspired livery. Yeah, it makes sense.
Ah, okay.
Falcon running simple enough orange livery. He'd be very pleased with 6th place on the grid here. Just need to hold that tank slapper. Looks to be okay.
Yeah, Falcon with a ton of experience. He used to race in the Kyoto races of New Dimension Racing. Earlier this no, not this decade, the past decade. Oh dear.
Ouch.
Oh, as in front of him, Number and Yerloco collided.
Oh no. That's the last thing we want to see, is drivers coming to blows, as it could have a knock-on effect. We've seen on oval racing the big one, as it's colloquially known, where one collision leads to another and leads to another, and that could wipe out a lot of our field if they're not careful.
Botsy just crossed the line. He would have been the last car to attempt a lap, but decided to bail. So LG Me's now the final car on a proper qualifying attempt. The only car not within the 39-second lap times. Then again, he is still well within a second of Botsy's provisional pole time, which now becomes the official pole time, and Mies improves into the 39th.
Yeah, an owner got his name on the list as well to make 27 registered times. But without further ado, it's pole position for Sidus Botsy, a 39-second .24 time. That's 600ths clear of Gabor, followed by Rickardle and Unite. But best of the rest goes to Fragmaster Number, with Falcon, Kid, Zadorus, Kossi, and Ayub in the top 10. Born to Race have more representation elsewhere with Rayman, Scattle, and Classic, and Master Race Cars Michael is stuck in between them. Timu Soini is our best world-class Lions driver in 15th. Pedro Bior, Jaroslav Dunleek, Yerloko, Rony, and the Himuli are the top 20. And looking at the final list of classified entries for qualifying, Lorenzo, Atian, Mandula, Panteo, Macic, LG Mies, and Owner, all within the 39-second threshold. And do you have any of your trivia to hand there, Thilo?
Of course I have. So yeah, this is the overall, what do we start with? We start with the track facts. It is the overall 7th oval race in RTFR history. So far there have been 4 races in Kyoto and 2 races in Rockingham. The last oval race was the 205th RTFR with the LX4 here from Rockingham, UK. And it was won by Sidus Unite, back then racing for Genuine Racing. So it's over 50 RTFRs since we've last featured an oval race.
Yeah, that is quite something. I suppose the drivers are more excited by circuits, but definitely the oval in a sports car, it's something totally different.
Yeah, but we've been to Rockingham actually recently. The 253rd RTFR was with the LX6 from an open configuration called Historic Modified, also won by Sidus Unite, and we actually covered that as one of the earlier races this season, so you can check it out on demand on our Sim Broadcast YouTube channel.
Sounds like a good idea, but for the moment, let's take a quick break and we'll return for the green light. Don't go anywhere. Hi everybody, welcome back to Rony's Tuesday Fun Race, live on simbroadcasts.tv, both on Twitch and YouTube. My name is Eoin Harmon and I have Thilo Falkenberg alongside me.
Good evening, everyone.
So we're just having the final preparations before our race, but if you didn't see the qualifying session, here's a recap on the top qualifiers today here at Rockingham Oval. It's Sidus Botsi leading his teammates Gabor, Rickardel and Unite 1 to 4, with FM number Falcon, Kid, Zadoris, Kossi, Ayub, Rayman, Michael, Scattle, Classic and Soini in the top 15. Is extremely close grid, Thilo, so it should make for a fantastic race.
It definitely will, and although this is an oval race, there won't be any sorts of safety car periods, etc., because this is Rony's Tuesday Fun Race, and we don't do these kind of things here. If you mess up, you have messed up.
Yeah, the pressure's on, and tactics are out the window. It's all about driver skill and application around these four corners of Rockingham. And we now have the call to go racing. And we have a lovely sunset just in the background there. But now we have the roaring race around cars, or race about, ready for the start. So take it away, Thilo.
So we're waiting for the lights, standing start, 1 light, 2 light. And we're green for oval racing in Rockingham.
Falcon in the middle looks to be okay, but it's a good getaway for Botsi. And the teammates, Cardinal and Unite, all in the same colour scheme this time. Racing away, it's Gabor, breaking the trend there. Number holds 5th place. And into turn number 3 they go. Or turn 2, sorry. Looking safe and sensible so far. Charging now for the 3rd corner.
Number going for the low line. Into the pack of Sidus cars. 3 wide. Into turn 4.
Unite is loose. The back end just giving way for a moment, and that pressurizes one of our lead drivers into a little uplift
3
into
wide
the
still.
banking. Yeah, and that's our first lap in the bank. Great getaway for Botsi here already. 9/10 of a second up, or 8.5. Zadoris doing okay there with Kid, our sole SBTV runner. Oh, into the wall. That was Unite. You can just see Numbers attacking Gabor as hard as he can. He has to watch out for Falcon on the outside.
Oh, contact!
There's contact. Turn 4. Oh, we've lost Number for a lot of places there. Heavy slam into the rear with his car, and that's going to severely hamper the rest of his race. It's still lap 3. Fast lap from Botsi there, 39 seconds, 0.7. It's just a matter of finding the action wherever it happens. Totally different to circuit racing, Thilo, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, certainly agree. With the contact we've just saw on the screen, Falcon also fell back a couple of positions, now in 8th position, right behind MRC's Michael, and he tries to charge back up because up in front, our leader is already pulling away.
Oh, giant slide Scattle and Kossi and Kid. That's the one you feared. Kid is spinning on the infield grass, I'm afraid. Scattle was the one who started the incident, but he is able to continue in 12th position with Rony, his nearest competitor. We're now checking out Lorenzo with 2 other cars nearby, and 3 if you're really feeling racy for Jaroslav Donnelly, I think that is. He's now given up the inside line.
Atian and Lorenzo side by side, and now Mandula taking the inside of Lorenzo, who washes out into the wall on the exit of turn 4.
Yeah, so Botsi is just pulling away like a demon here. It's just such a fantastic run.
Oh, Scattle was in the wall.
slipstream.
He's losing a ton of position now.
Yeah. That's
and contact Atian. putting Temuli into the wall, and now Mandula goes through the middle.
LG Meese goes around as well. Donnelly forced high into the turn 3 wall. Wherever you look, something is going amiss. There is a car stopped at turn 3, I believe it is, or turn 2. Gets LG Meese able to carry on before the lap is done. I'm not sure if that car is roadworthy anymore. It's something that Botsy should be made aware of ASAP. We're now checking out Atian in 16th position, just about the above or below halfway in the standings. He's lost position there. And teammates battle carries on here. Unite, pushing as hard as he can against Gabor, but there's no letting up here.
Behind those, Michael is trying to keep his position from Falcon. The race green driver currently not finding a way to get around him.
Yeah, it looks like Ayub is feeling the more determined this lap. Thilo. Unfortunately, Scattle and Pantheo have pulled out and are not able to finish the race. Falcon stabilizes through the second portion of the oval. Looks like he'll be able to carry on his battle for potential top 5, maybe. LG Meese decides to pit. That's a good call. His car is in bad shape.
Not only that, but he can let everyone pass safely by being in the pit lane.
Yeah, I think he has a drive-through penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. I'd have to confirm that.
Yes, indeed. The problem is that the speed limit in Rockingham is much lower than at other tracks in lift speed, so he might have misjudged it.
And we just saw briefly Numbers fighting back after his clash earlier on in the race. Classic, we're looking at his battle with Owner at the moment, and you can see the gaggle of 6 or 7 cars. Classic is splitting up the road, 2 cars on the wall there, and Classic has decided enough's enough. So that promotes several of our drivers up positions. Owner has gone down the groove on the oval and is handily into 13th. Oh, Number into the back of the Hamuli. Just whatever can go wrong has gone wrong so far, and we're not even at lap 10.
Big accident!
He's around again at turn 3. Yeah, very well spotted. It's just so unfortunate. Like, we saw Yaroslav Donnelly go into the anti-cuts, but thankfully he was pointing in the right direction, and it carries on with Lorenzo now gaining the space against the Hamuli and into 14th.
Timo Soini diving down into the pit lane.
I couldn't say what that was for. He was doing quite well, but again, he's one of those drivers that just doesn't have the fortune on his side. These things tend to happen. Number completes a pit stop. He'll be a lap down at least. Or he's actually started all over again, as a matter of fact. Let's check out Rony battling his way into the top 10. He was close to Rayman, but the Born to Race driver slipped away. And we'll keep an eye out on that one. But now, Maciek versus Donnelly for P16. That could get close. It's bump drafting away there. That could have been a costly mistake, as Timu Soini is now merging onto the circuit before turn number 3. LG Meese doing similar. Yeah, so that's a drive-through completed for LG Meese. So we're going to have to watch out for drivers getting the lap down. Thilo, we're already 20 cars remain on the lead lap. As
Yaroslav is having a good run out of turn 4 to the inside of Magic and finally getting past.
Well, it's not over yet. Actually, Magic now merges onto the inside using the grip he had available. But a fantastic exit from Donnelly out of 3 has helped him along there, or 2, sorry, keep getting those mixed up. But Magic is now merging onto the inside. Using the grip he had available. A fantastic exit from Donnelly out of 3 has helped him along there, or 2, sorry, keep getting those mixed up. Magic is now merging onto the inside. Using the grip he had available. A fantastic exit from Donnelly out of 3 has helped him along there, or 2, sorry, keep getting those mixed up. But another slipstream is possible here for Magic, but decides to back out of that one with Kid now on the... Oh no, he's going to hit the wall. A dreadful understeer moment there. And he's going to filter behind Atian in 18th place, or 19th as a matter of fact.
In these road cars with the road tires, getting washed out in turn 4 is very, very likely, especially if you're just slightly off your line there.
Yeah, the downforce, not particularly strong in these cars. They really appreciate some rear-wing downforce. And as you said, Thilo, the road tires, they're almost, catastrophic on an oval to be severely burnt out on the right-hand side using all the banking there. But the drivers, like Botsy, are finding it relatively easygoing. But the lap traffic element is going to play a part very soon indeed on lap 14. Be now lap 15 as Mandula has found the space against Rayman and looks to be ready to compete with Pedro for the top 10.
We've just missed a position change in the top 3 as Unite got around his teammate Gabor. Gabor being washed out in turn 4 like we've seen a lot of times today already.
There was a car slowed down. I didn't see which one it was. Maybe they're just leaving the pit. Yeah, it's LG Mies. But yeah, we did lose Rayman there. That's and Kossi has, I think, started as a spectator, but decides to leave the lobby. So yeah, Rony is currently the owner of 10th position with his teammate Mandula behind and Pedro running a Peugeot livery in front. So could be the teamwork element here, Thilo, if they can get a slipstream battle going, but I can't see it happening here. Maybe it is actually going to happen.
Well, Ronnie not hitting the apex there into turn 1, leaving enough room to Mandula to pass him safely. Now, Mandula actually said before the race it would be enough for him to just set a hot lap in the qualifying session and then
LG
join the
Mies
race.
Is around. Thilo, I beg your pardon. Lorenzo had nowhere to go, and that's caused a domino effect. Yaroslav Donnelly also caught up in it, so that's a dreadful accident. A head-on collision there for Lorenzo, and that will require repairs immediately. So the leaders will need to know about that. Gabor disconnected. Out of the race, Thilo, yeah. I didn't spot that. So I didn't notice if there was an accident, Thilo. Maybe you saw
I have
something.
Seen nothing.
Okay.
Maybe Chet has more information than we do.
Yeah, so it's a 1-2-3 for Sidus, but Botsy has now put another car down a lap. It was Lorenzo. So 16 cars on the lead lap, and with no prospect of yellows around this Rockingham track, it's just the battle of willpower to keep going until the bitter end. We now see Mandula using that momentum he gained, passing his teammate, and he puts it to use again for the inside of turn 2 against Pedro, and that's 8th place. Into turn 3 they go now, but it is a counter strike for Pedro, and now before the lap is done, there is one last chance.
Botsy having to pass the battle of Yeroloko and Yaroslav Donelik. But
that is the two drivers going a lap down, but they are battling for position. So it'll be relatively clear now that the race leader is by. Rony and Number are both fancying a move against Mandula, but Number is indeed a lap down, so he's trying his best to, or he's several laps down, so he's trying to regain what he lost. Just hoping for more disconnects, I suppose. And Kid, oh, it's a classic oval collision from one rear quarter to the front, and it puts Magic into a slide. It was a gentle enough one, thankfully kept the front under control, and the rear wheel drive car did the rest. So much going on. It's not even halfway, and that was a DNF for Yerloco. That means 19 cars remain, and 14 are on the lead lap. The Hitmuli is surely going to repair that damage now. Yeah. So Teemu Soini will be hoping to catch up to him at some stage. Oh, and here we go again. Kid versus Magic for position. And he's got it done this time. So that's a handy move, but Magic has the slipstream coming in now. Yeah, Magic will have to carry on that battle Z now. Focus on Mandula. Worried about the lap traffic of Number and his teammate in front of him. So that's a very difficult position to be in, Thilo. Don't lose.
The second ZFRL driver, Temuli, was just down in the pit lane, did a 32.55 second long pit stop. Just a reminder, the fastest lap so far is 39 second and 54, so...
Yeah, that's about what we expected from our qualifying session. So it's a repeat of our race pace. Unite occupying third position at the moment. He has traffic to deal with here. So does Botsy. So this is definitely the stress of the oval. Blue flags will be enforced, but it's just such a quick decision. You have to find the right spot to lift off and then straight back on the power, as you're going to compromise your own race quite heavily for going offline and maybe into the wall. You have to stay on that racing line, as you've said earlier, Thilo, or else you'll be washed through the downforce and the wind, and you'll be into the wall. Kid is holding his own so far. That's a pit stop for Lorenzo. Oh, that's a slide into the wall. Pedro in his Peugeot has actually Numbers the beneficiary there. He's gained some pride, but you can see there's trouble afoot in Pedro's setup. His rear right tire is in bad shape, and you need to calm that down just as we reach the halfway point. Just past it now. Yeah, Pedro has to calm that booking Bronco down, or else he'll be in the pits needing new tires on that right side. Now, I can't think of a famous number 96 in NASCAR. I would have known one of the more obvious numbers, but Rony's representing that beloved number of his as best he can. But Pedro, so far, so good on this 25th lap. Just past halfway point, let's quickly look at the drivers. The top 10 classification. Botsy is in the lead, 4 seconds clear of Ricciardo. And then we have the third Sidus vehicle driven by Unite in P3. Race Green have something to cheer for with Zadoris in 4th. Then we have Michael Malik in 5th position. Falcon, haven't seen him in too much stress. He's handy in 6th position. Born to Race have Ayub in 7th position. His teammates have sadly fallen by the wayside. Pedro Bior and Rony resuming their battle for 8th and 9th, with Mandula in 10th. Rony having a look. A beautiful onboard camera shot. Oh, there you go. It's Rony through on the inside. Just spotted the green flyer down the inside. So Rony, he gives up the inside of turn 2, and that's straight through again for Pedro. 2 overtakes in a single lap, and there's plenty more where that came from. And again, this could be 3 out of 4 for these two. Almost photo finish there, but it's about 600ths of a second. LG Mies takes a pit stop, but Pantheo disconnects. Must have been a spectator from earlier. LG Mies has another drive-through penalty. I'd say Number will be overtaking LG Mies for position in the next lap or two.
By the way, you were talking about the 69 in NASCAR. Actually, there is a 69 in the current season. The Gaunt Brothers Racing Toyota, driven by Ty Dillon, Harrison Burton, and to be announced throughout the season.
Yeah, Harrison Burton is tipped to be a prospect in NASCAR in the upcoming seasons. I think he got a new deal. I didn't exactly read where, but he's certainly fancied as a famous son. But anyway, we'll focus on our own drivers for the moment. Mandula on the rear bumper now of Pedro. The message loud and clear on that number plate: 0 FPS, the every gamer's nightmare. But Pedro seems to be managing that reasonably clearly and calmly. He's keeping the racing line, staying nice and clear from that apron into the upper part of the banking. It's just lovely camera shot here now. Very, very gripping, has to be said. Oh, that will slightly hinder Mandula's momentum into 3. But he's got another run for the 4th corner before his next lap. Yeah, Mandula just hanging on. You can see there's trouble for Pedro. Just a slight weave of oversteer, but he's held on to it. Oh, a little bit more. Yeah, so I think Mandula will be pleased. And he's now got Rony just a couple of a couple of tenths ahead. And he's gaining rapidly, Thilo, as Rony makes a mistake in turn 2.
Indeed, Mandula's preparation by just setting one hot lap seems to, work out for him.
Magic for a race green as well. Not a bad day for the team, it has to be said, with 4th, 2 top 10s and a top 15. But there's a blue flag warning
3 top
for
10s. Don't forget Falken.
Yes, exactly. Oh yes, of course, my bad. So 4 top 10s. I apologize. So blue flag's out for Magic, and now we're on board with Rony. You can see that we are rear engine. Not what I'd recommend for oval racing, as we said. If you're not in a open wheeler, mid-engine, excuse me. Not normally what I'd choose without an open wheeler underneath me, but yeah, it seems to be working okay for Rony. Oh no, that's a big one. Fantastic.
Oh, he saved it.
Fantastic save. But Mandula sprints away and has 8th place to himself, and the nearest driver is Ayub, but he's about 9 seconds up the road.
But Rony regained the momentum quite rapidly, as Pedro cannot really closing up to him right now, although he was washed out that massively.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with that, but the main battle of LG Mies is into the grass on the middle portion of the track. He should be able to get onto the apron and onto the racing line. No, that was risky. Lorenzo won't be impressed. Bit of deja vu. Now here's Ricardo. Ricardo, 2nd place, gets through, and Unite as well. So it's a hot enough day for a lot of us in Europe, that's for sure. Maybe wiping the brow sweat in relief, as we said, getting rid getting rid of those lap drivers without contact. Pedro is now gaining on Rony. So the shoe is on the other foot here, Thilo. Rony's tyre could be, so Rony's tyre could be giving up if he's not careful. But now that distraction from LG Mies means that there is a battle on for second. Lorenzo ready to move out of the way. Safe and sound. Half a second separates these two in their hopes of finishing. They'll need a miracle for Botzi to get out of their way, but at the minute this is the runners-up spot. Very, very important for Unite's championship, and indeed Rick's. Both are heavy contenders for the title. Whereas the team, so far so good in their championship bid. Here's Michael putting Kid a lap down. And that is okie doke. But now the gap is coming down further, Thilo. It's 0.3 of a second and it's shrinking. This is the most important battle heading into the final 11 laps or so. Rick has to pick his spot or face the threat of having a counterattack.
And there will be no team radio communication about this is a team order.
No, certainly not. It's not a culture.
Oh, there's a car on the track. Does it get away? Yeah, it does. Oh, number.
So all that effort after the opening salvo that went badly wrong. It's game over for number. So team orders not very common in oval racing, at least as the United States are concerned. But Unite is just plodding away, thinking of the moment to strike, making sure it's a finality. But you can hear his engine. He's lifting off before the corners, meaning that he's not going to risk ploughing into the back of his teammate.
Yeah, Unite probably waiting for turn 4, as you can place yourself to the inside rather nicely there.
The apron so close there for Unite, but decides to merge to the high line. The drivers virtually identical lap times, just a 10th apart. Teemu Soini takes another visit to the pits, so only 10 cars are on the lead lap, and Rony is getting a blue flag order in his own battle for position. It should be okay for another little while, but when the moment comes, he really needs to get out of the way of Botzi. Pedro falling into the clutches of the high line, but he saved it. And this is again a case of inter-team squabbles. Unite still remaining calm, waiting to see when his opportunity will come. Just about 7 laps to go, or 8 laps. So there's a lapped car getting out of the way on the high line of turn 2.
Yeah, LG Mies.
LG Mies, exactly. So Rick remains steadfast with the high line before taking the calm drift for the apron, not touching it, which is good. But now, if Unite had have been able to cut back there, you would have had the inside for turn number 1. So this is definitely synchronized swimming between these two. It's just remarkable to see that they're not skipping a beat and keeping each other's momentum alive. So Rony and Pedro have to get out of the way now. Rony may...
Pedro's watching righties. Oh, I nearly saw him spin out there.
Yeah, so that's certainly a threat in oval racing. If your rival is in front of you and you're just in the same lane as them, you're going to have contact. But Botzi is away smoothly. Yeah, it's just... There was nothing Rony could have done if Pedro clattered into the wall. But this is the battle of the day so far. Rickardle holding on with Unite and his nerves of steel so far, just hanging on in there, waiting to see if he can force the mistake that will give him second place on merit without needing to roll the dice. It's lap 44 for these drivers now. The do or die moment has to be coming soon. We've seen classic bump and runs in past oval races to just determine victories and defeats. But I can't see the prospect of that happening here. It has to be a clean move. I wouldn't have waited this long. But I think Rick is just hanging on in there as best he can. The tire temperatures could be playing the factor. This is it now. This is it, Thilo. Can he use the outside line? Staying in the middle of the banking. No. Oh, this is the drag now. It's going to be side by side. And there it is. Around he goes. P2 for Sidus Unite. Now he's got the hunted badge about him now. And he doesn't want to lose that position he worked so hard for so long to get. But we'll see what happens now. Will Rick pay his teammate back with similar calm, or will he decide, I want this position back and in another do or die? And that's a little mistake.
We lost Lorenzo to the internet.
So that's 17 cars remaining and 8 on the lead lap. Heavy attrition, it has to be said. Like we did see a moderately sized one early in the race. We now have our cameras focused on the race leader, Botsy, with 2 to go next time by. He's got a clear track in front of him, clear track behind. So this is the penultimate lap for our race leader, but we'll focus again on a battling situation. Rony! Oh, I think that was his last chance, Thilo.
It probably was, yes.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard to claw back. Oh, that's the wall. Not too much damage. Yeah, absolutely fine on the bodywork and the chassis now. The proverbial white flag is out for Botsy. Just 1 to go. Sponsored by World Class Lions. We'll see how he gets on with the track all to himself. Fastest lap actually there, 39.52.
So setting a statement right at the end. I think that is the ballpark of his pole time. So he's entering turn 4 for the final time today. Teo Mooley in front of him probably lets him pass to not do another lap. And he does. Botsy wins the oval race for Sidus.
Pedro and Rony finished their battle up there.
Oh, Rickardle spun.
Oh my goodness me. Rick decides to play a little bit of celebration there, crossing the line, facing backwards.
Yeah, and just finishing about a second in front of Doris. That was...
LG Meese was on the grass crossing the line as well, so it looks like we have our last few drivers ready to cross the line, and then we'll have our final classification for this 48 lap battle of attrition at Rockingham Oval. Yeah, there we go. We have our final classification, viewers. So let's run it down. It's a flag-to-flag victory for Botsy. He held on to the pole and pretty much ran away. It was a beautiful opening salvo for him. Got the job done there, held a constant lead. And it was a 32-minute 0.65 run ahead of Unite, who showed remarkable calm to make sure he got the second place without ruining Rickardle's race in the third. Zadorus, very, very assured race for him in fourth, with Michael Malik gaining positions to finish in the top 5. Falcon, Ayub, Mandula, Pedro, and Rony are the top 10. Then we have Owner, Kidd, Donalik, Magic, the Himuli, and Soini there. So everyone else from Lorenzo down, I believe, failed to finish the race. So it's a shame for that. LG Mies, Number, and Yer Loco are the highest non-finishers, followed by Gabor, Atian, Rayman, Classic, Panteo, Scattle, and Cossi, who all retired. So, Thilo, what do you have to say about that?
Michael taking Botsy's spot on the victory lane. Quite a remarkable sight. It's been really a fantastic race to watch. Of course, there was so much drama with people getting used to the over-racing rhythm. And I'm very, very sure we've only shown you a fraction of the action on track. The car was a handful to drive over the race distance, but with those 3 Sidus drivers finishing the race, I think they are the deserving podium finishers. Of course, Unite with his late race overtake of his teammate Ricardo is maybe the standout moment in the sharp end of the grid. But I wonder what would have happened if Falcon and Number didn't touch that early in the race and could get into the rhythm and really try to challenge the Sidus Bastion.
Yeah, that would be one for the what if column. But thank you very much for your input, Thilo. And congratulations once again to Botsy on a wonderful drive to victory. So the next event for Sim Broadcasts will be the Layout Racing League this coming Saturday. So I hope you can join us then. But for now, that is everything for this evening's RTFR competition. We thank you very much for tuning in, and I'd like to also say thank you to Chris McElroy, aka Elmo, for his work on the cameras and other parts of the broadcast, and of course Thilo Falkenberg alongside me. So without further ado, I've been Eoin Harmon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.